They called him arrogant. They called him fake. Some even said he was a businessman hiding behind a Bible. But he never raised his voice in return. He never clapped back. He only kept building and praying. In Lagos, 1993, rain was falling hard. Newspapers screamed from roadside stalls. False prophet buys jet, Oyedepo empire exposed. Inside a quiet room, Bishop Oyedepo knelt in prayer. His assistant entered nervously. "Sir, they're dragging your name again. What should we do?" He looked up. No anger, no fear. He said, "No need to reply. We have souls to feed." When he announced a 50,000-seat church in the wilderness, they laughed. What does he think he is? A king? Who builds a city in a bush? But Oyedepo didn't fight. He picked up a shovel. He dug. He prayed. A young pastor asked, "Why not respond, sir? The attacks are loud." Oyedepo said, "The ark doesn't shout while it's being built, but when it floats, even the flood listens." One day, a reporter stopped him. "Bishop Oyedepo, what do you say to those who call you a fraud?" He paused, then smiled gently and said, "Do birds answer barking dogs?" He walked on. The clip went viral, not for drama, for wisdom. While critics shouted, he built universities, he funded hospitals, he sent missionaries. No reply, only results. He once told a gathering, "We are not called to answer noise, we are called to answer needs." Few knew the secret. Behind the silence was an altar. Every dawn he knelt, no cameras, no applause. Every day, Oyedepo prays, "Lord, let not my name be louder than your name." That was his shield, not clapping back, but bowing low. One day, a critic fell ill. Doctors gave up. He stumbled into a winter's chapel service. As the choir sang, healing came. Later, he met the bishop. The critic said, "Why would your God help someone like me?" Oyedepo responded, "Because God doesn't heal because we are holy. He heals because he is good." That man, he now prints gospel tracts. He once mocked Oyedepo's pen. Now, he uses it to preach. Decades have passed. Winners Chapel isn't just a church. It's a movement, a legacy, built not with insults, but with obedience. Every Sunday, the road swelled with crowds from distant towns and cities, some arriving in buses, others on foot, all drawn by the presence of one man, Prophet Elijah Adebayo, lovingly known by his congregation as Papa. But outside the glittering walls and hymns, beyond the miracles and messages, the world was full of noise, harsh, biting, and relentless. He's brainwashing them. Look at his suits. Where is he getting all that money? Did you hear he bought land in 5 countries? False prophet. Just another man riding religion to power. The criticism came from all corners. Journalists, bloggers, rival preachers, disillusioned former members, and even family. They questioned his motives, picked apart his teachings, mocked his visions, and labeled his silence arrogance. But Elijah never responded, not once. Elijah's journey hadn't begun in wealth or acclaim. Born in a poor village called Ilero, he was the 5th child of a struggling cocoa farmer. At age 12, he had an encounter, an unexplainable moment during prayer beneath an odala tree, where he believed God had spoken to him directly. "You will build for me a city of light. Do not fight for yourself. I will defend your name." Years later, he graduated from the top of his class, turned down prestigious job offers, and started a small prayer fellowship in a rented 1-room apartment with just 5 members. He fasted, prayed, studied, preached, and endured. The criticism began when he began to teach that wealth and holiness were not enemies. When testimonies of healing, success, and transformation poured in, the voices grew louder. And when the Tabernacle of Light opened with its 30,000 seat capacity, scholarship programs, farms, hospitals, and charity homes, the storms came. But Elijah never clapped back. No interviews, no press statements, not even a passing reference in his sermons. To many it was infuriating, to others deeply confusing, but to him it was obedience. In his 12th year of ministry, a popular investigative journalist named Ugaf Ediken visited the tabernacle. Her online series, Preachers of Profit, had exposed several fraudulent spiritual leaders and brought her national attention. She was smart, relentless, and deeply skeptical of mega churches. Elijah knew she was coming. She had emailed his office repeatedly for an interview. He never replied. Still, she came with her crew, camera in hand, ready to uncover the scandal. They stayed for a week. They spoke with members, doctors, widows, ex-convicts, traders, youth. They reviewed records, expecting missing numbers, and found audited books signed by independent firms.
They said he was building a personal kingdom, but his response was a people lifted. He never argued on the podium, he instructed from scripture. He said, the fruit will silence the forest, the evidence will become the voice, and so, from Kaduna to Kenya, from villages to cities, his silence echoed louder than the shouts. Even presidents came seeking counsel, not because he spoke against critics, but because he carried a presence they couldn't ignore. Scene 10, closing scene, dawn breaking. Bishop walks alone toward the altar. In a world of noise, be like the man who built with silence. Be like the man who let God defend him. Be like the man who chose purpose over applause.